Hey guys, so this is my 38/39 week update. I haven't done the updates in a while just because there's been a lot going on, and I try to get the hospital bag videos done and everything. So I'm going to do a quick update on here, and then right after this I'm going to film the big sister gifts that I got for our daughter. So if you want to stay tuned, that will be posted shortly after, as well as our daughter's birth story, which you'll want to hear about because I feel like I deserve a medal or some kind of trophy with her. And I know there's lots of women who struggle with labor, and so you'll kind of get to hear our experience with our first child and the reasons why we're directing how our next birth is going to go. So just stay tuned for those videos if you'd like, but this one is about the update. So I am actually 39.5 weeks now, but I'm going to kind of do a combo of the 38-39 because honestly not a lot changed. So I did go off on disability for my work around 37.5 weeks. So I've been off work for about 2 weeks thinking that I would have had our son by now, for as much lower body pain as I was having and how often I was having Braxton Hicks. I thought I was contracting and dilating more, which was not the case at all. So I went in on my 38th week to my doctor thinking I was going to be like a 2 or like 2 centimeters dilated and, 75% or 90% effaced or something like that. He said that he could stretch me if I wanted, and I said yes because it's my second child. 38 weeks is full term, and I was like, yes, like let's get this ball rolling, just do what you need to do. So he was able to well, he said I was kind of close. I was almost like I was about a half a centimeter, so he did mention that. So he said he was going to stretch me to a 1. So he was able to stretch me to a 1. Very painful. I've had cervical pain ever since I had my daughter, and if you listen to her birth story later on, you'll know why. But so I've always been super sensitive now since her birth, down in my cervix, and so my poor daughter was there. I kept her like busy on my phone, but she gets so sensitive and upset whenever I'm on like an exam table and the doctors are touching me. So it was awful, and literally the doctor came in, looked at me, said, "Oh, it looks to be like you're closed. You're almost about a half. I'm going to stretch you." And then he stretched me without even like too much of a warning or any kind of breathing technique to use, because normally he'll be like, "Okay, take a deep breath. I'm going to check you," things like that. But he was in such a hurry that he just came in like freaking just shoved his like hand up there, stretched me, took his hand out, said, "Okay, we'll see you next week." He's like, "I don't expect your child to be here for like another week." I'm like, oh my God. I waited an hour to pretty much be like, I don't know. Like, it was just awful experience. And I know he was probably just in a rush trying to catch up with all his patients, but it was still just freaking awful. And I'm never doing an afternoon appointment ever again, because whenever I have an appointment at like 3 o'clock, it's fine. I'm in and out of there in like 15 minutes. So I will never do an afternoon appointment ever again. And actually, hopefully I won't have to do any more appointments. So anyways, my poor daughter was scorned. So he stretched me to a 1 last week. And then I just had my recent visit yesterday for my 39th week visit. And again, I was a 1. I was what he stretched me to a week ago. And I've had like random contractions. They don't last very long. They last anywhere from 8 to like 20 seconds. And then like they don't show up for like, they'll be random. Like I'll have another one in a few minutes, and then I'll have one in like an hour, and then I'll be like into another few minutes, and then it'll be a few hours kind of thing. So I know they're not labor contractions, obviously, or I'd be holding a baby in my arms right now. So yesterday I went in without my daughter this time. My husband was able to come home early and watch her, and I had a 3 o'clock appointment, and guess what? I was in and out of there in 15 minutes. super quick. I was like the only one there, and he actually took time to kind of talk to me. So I went in. He was able to stretch me. He said that he didn't want to stretch me to a 2. He was going to stretch me just another half and get me to like a 1.5 centimeter. And hopefully that would kind of dislodge things. I did a few days ago have my bloody show, which if anyone knows what that is, it's part of like the mucus plug, and it wasn't anything disgusting. I was expecting it to be like gross how they explain it, how it's like a cork up there and just a mucus plug that's either really mucusy or bloody. But no, that it was a very light pink watery blood from wiping after I went to the restroom. And they said that's normal, that's part of the bloody show. And I've had discharge, like thicker discharge, kind of breaking away slowly. So I think my mucus plug is just going to be very slow paced. Anyway, so he stretches me to 1.5. He's like, I could try to get you to a 2, but he's like, I just don't want anything to tear. And he's like, I want you to go into labor naturally. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm 39.5 weeks. I want this child out. I wanted him out 2 weeks ago when I went on leave from work. So I feel like such a failure that I couldn't hang at work any longer because just the pain I was having. And now to save money, our daughter's not in daycare. She's home with me. So I'm taking care of a toddler all day. So now I'm working at home because a toddler is obviously work. And I'm not getting that rest, that bed rest I'm technically supposed to be on. Because my blood pressure was high, I had really bad swelling in my legs and my feet, so my doctor took me off work. However, my blood pressure is down. It's better. It's back to normal. I'm still getting this swelling in my legs, so I am trying to take it more easy. And my daughter is being watched by other people twice a week. So today she's at her Grammys. Tomorrow she'll be at daycare. She is going once a week to daycare just to kind of keep that routine in her life. I don't want everything to change. I don't want her to be home with me for like, almost 12 weeks with the baby and then go back to everything. So I did want to keep somewhat of a consistency in her life. So she is going to her grandma's once a week and daycare once a week. So I do get 2 days in a row to kind of relax. If I need to do something around the house, do something around the house, I can, without her messing it up. Because literally, as soon as I do something, she's getting either back out or getting something else out. So I am 39.5 weeks and only at 1.5 centimeters. And I don't know why my body doesn't know how to have children, but I guess it just doesn't. However, the doctor said with second children, it can be all at once. He's like, you could be at nothing and then go straight into active labor and have a child within like a day or 2. So there's still that and I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to with dear life because I'm just so uncomfortable and miserable. Every movement hurts. Every time he moves hurts. Just that everything is just sensitive. I don't want anything on me. Honestly, if I wasn't videoing this, I'd probably be like half naked right now because I don't want anything on me. I don't want anything constricting my chest, my belly, or my underbelly. So that means underwear is usually off. Like I usually have super loose pants on or like a muumuu type of pajama gown on, and that's it because it's just so uncomfortable. I am keeping track of his movements because he is full term. That's something I need to keep an eye on to make sure he's moving at least every 2 hours. But with them getting less room, they're less likely to move as often. So I'm just keeping track of that, which he does move pretty often. In fact, if I don't feel him moving around for a while, I will lay down. And that usually makes him adjust and like kind of switch around to get comfortable. So I'll usually lay on my side and kind of feel where he has his foot, which is like right here, right now. I'll feel where his foot is and see if he moves it at all. So now that I'm 39.5 weeks, I am obviously miserable. I am tired. This is the first time I've put makeup on in days. And fully clothed in days. Unless we're out somewhere, like I have to go to the store or something. But even then, it's like sports bra and like a loose shirt. It's not pretty. It's not pretty at all when I go out now. But it's what I need to be appropriate in public. And so I try to relax. It's hard to do with a toddler. It really is. I wish my husband was more help, but I know he's tired after work. So, and my daughter's very picky. Like, she doesn't like her dad doing bedtime. So I have to do bedtime every night. So when I'm exhausted and tired and have to put my feet up, I can't. I still have to put her to sleep. So I get to bed around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I do get to bed. I'm not, going to bed super late, but then I also have that, what is that? Pregnancy, sleep, when you're staying awake. Oh my gosh, what is that word? I can't even function right. But obviously I'm not getting a lot of sleep at all. I am up every like 15 to 20 minutes. And then sometimes it'll take me up to an hour to get back to sleep. So we're up about 6:30 every morning, up out of bed. But I'm awake a lot at night. And I don't get consistent sleep at all. So, and I know that's not going to get any better for the next at least 8 years probably, with a toddler and an infant. So I've just come to terms with that. Caffeine is my life right now. Sometimes I'll have coffee, but it's mainly like tea and stuff like that. So if I really need a boost in the morning, I'll have like straight up juice, like apple juice or like something super like tart and sugary just to like wake me up, because I have to be able to compete and keep up with my toddler. But other than my misery, our son is doing great. He's healthy. He's obviously happy since he's just staying in there. So we do have an induction date set if he goes over. So we had to be induced my daughter at 41 weeks. So we had already talked to my doctor about getting induced as quickly as possible. And so hospitals will not allow you to be induced before 40 weeks unless there's other risks or health issues. And since this is not a at-risk pregnancy, because he is doing so great and healthy, I have to wait till 40 weeks. So I have my induction date set for the day after my 40th week. So next Tuesday will be what my doctors have on file. My original due date was the 14th. So that's what they're going off of. Then he had changed it to the 10th, but that's more of like a guesstimate of what he thinks it's going to be. He said between the 7th and 10th is what he believes by the size of my child that he would be born. But he could just be measuring large. So there's that fear again of having a huge baby come out of me. And so we are scheduled to be induced the day after on the 15th. So no matter what, I will be having this child by the end of next week. He will be here. And I told my doctor, I was like, please put me on that list, because you do have to go on like a waiting list to be induced. It's kind of by if the beds are available in the hospital, then they'll call you. So I said, I want to get on that list as soon as possible for that date. So I'm at the top of that list. And that way I don't care what time it is, I get called for that date. So praying that he will be here no later than the 15th. And my doctor also promised me he would not let me go more than a day or two without having that baby in my arms, because with my daughter's birth story, you'll see it took much longer. And so I'm a lot more excited this round, if we had to be induced, that I have a doctor that is willing to listen to me rather than do his own thing, because your birth plan is really important. That is how you need to stay in control of your birth. So I knew that if this child wasn't going to come naturally, that we would, if we had to be induced again, I would only want to get Pitocin, and I would want to get an epidural paired with Pitocin and get that baby out. And not do anything else. Nothing else. Because I went through everything else with my daughter and nothing worked. So I've been doing other things to kind of help move this pregnancy or this birth and labor along. So I've been drinking the raspberry like leaf tea for about a month now. Almost 2 months I've been doing that. I've been doing evening primrose oil. I was doing it religiously for weeks and then realized I hadn't dilated at all. And so like for about a month straight, I was having 2 evening primrose oil capsules up the lady area and at night. So I would be laying down and it would just all kind of just stay in there and help soften your cervix, as it's supposed to do. So you can dilate more easily. And it did nothing for me, which I don't know why I'm not surprised, because it did nothing with my daughter too. And I attempted to have intercourse with my husband. That did not go well. It was extremely, excruciatingly painful. And no matter what, I know a lot of people are like, oh, push past the discomfort and try to do it anyways. No, it's not discomfort. It is torture. It is excruciating pain that like I wouldn't want or try to push in your body into labor doing that, because it was horrifyingly painful. And and then I've also been doing we've been going walking a lot. I did curb walking, where you have 1 foot on the curb, 1 foot off, and you kind of do like a waddle step, and then you switch back. We tried that one weekend, but our curbs are so tall, I ripped like my calves up bad. I could not walk for 2 days after, because we don't work out often, and it was just like it didn't work well for me. And I was actually like down, not being able to move on my husband's birthday that day, and then the next day was still so sore. So we tried curb walking, but now we're just doing regular walking because our curbs are way too high, and it caused more like calf pain than it did any kind of, contraction pain. But since my stretching of my cervix the last week, I had a little bit more contractions, and then yesterday I was stretched again to the 1.5 centimeters. I had a lot of contractions last night. Again, none consistent enough for labor. And then I've had a few quite often this morning. So I'm really hoping that my body is now dilating a little more, so I can get this little boy out, and so we can get him out quicker and not make it to that induction date. So we do have that induction date set on the 15th of May. However, he could come still naturally before that. I just wanted to be on that list, so they knew, like, if he wasn't here, then I needed to get in, which I will have another appointment with my doctor on the 14th, so the day before the induction, to be checked again. And he said he'll be a little bit more vigorous. He said he'll stretch me a lot more if I need to, and swipe my membranes a little more vigorously as well, because he said stretching like that can help like strip the membranes, but he said he'll like almost pretty much rupture those membranes, and maybe even see if he can break my water there. I don't know. If I'm at a 2, I think he can do it. So I was at a 1 in the hospital with my daughter, and the doctor on call was still able to break my water, luckily. So yeah, but that's like the 38, 39 weeks. He's doing great. I'm miserable, but he should be here soon, and I'm really hoping. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I feel like I've been through it all, like with both types of both my pregnancies, and I haven't had to have a C-section. I almost did with my daughter, but luckily she was born like 3 hours before that C-section had to be done. So I've never experienced a C-section, but I have definitely experienced every type of induction. So if you have questions about it, let me know. If you have worries about it, let me know, and I'll at least give you my opinion on some of the ways they induce you. Sometimes people's bodies work with it, sometimes they don't. Mine was one that did not. So if you want to hear more about that, a little bit more about the induction part, just hang tight and you'll see the next video that gets posted will be most likely the birth story of my daughter. So, and hopefully within the week, I'll have a birth story of our son, and hopefully we'll be able to get some footage. I haven't called the hospital to ask them about what their rules are with filming, so I'm not sure. So hopefully we'll get some footage. If not, we'll definitely get lots of video afterwards. So at least when my husband and I are in the room by ourselves, we can get footage of like how I'm doing through the labor, and yeah, how the baby's doing afterwards. So yeah, you guys, this is gonna be my last like bump date type of thing. If you want to see what a like almost 40-week belly looks like, I could show you at least mine. But I'm actually wearing my pregnancy shirt. But this is what my little man is looking like right now. So he used to be kind of like up here more. I feel like he was super high up. Because his feet were like up here, my ribs, now they're down here. And his booty's right here instead of up here. So he's dropped. Large and in charge. Very much so. So, see this angle. But he needs to come out. Every movement is painful, you guys. Every movement he makes is painful. Just, I'm ready. But he is not. So, or at least my body is not. So I don't know what it is with my body. It's issues getting pregnant, and then it's issues not wanting to give up my babies when they're ready to come out. Also, I can't breastfeed. That's another lovely thing, which I'll talk about in my daughter's birth story. So you guys will know why we're doing formula. A little bit more details while we're doing that, and you'll get to hear that in her birth story as well. So you guys, you stay tuned. This is a lot longer video than I thought. I'm gonna hopefully cut some stuff out. So yeah, just stay tuned for those videos if you guys want more information on induction, as well as like the reasons why we're choosing formula over breastfeeding, like, or the reasons why I'm choosing, the reasons why I'm choosing to do my daughter's or my son's birth the way we are. So you guys have a good day, and you like this video if you liked any of it. It doesn't even, I got a little off topic a few times, but that is how this little boy is doing. That is how I'm doing at 39.5 weeks. Yeah, it was like a 38, 39 week combo because honestly, nothing changed. Half a centimeter change, that's it. And he didn't even tell me my effacement, so I don't know those details. And I haven't had an ultrasound of him in like 2 months or so. So I have no idea how large he is since that last measurement was done, where he said he was already about 7 pounds at like 30 weeks. So, yeah, so you guys just wish me luck. Good luck to you guys if you're having your babies soon, or if you recently had your babies, congratulations. I know that a lot of the women on here were following me around the same time we all got pregnant. So you may have had your babies, and that's amazing. Congratulations. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of women who have the same birth month as me, and pretty much most of them have had their babies. I think I'm waiting on like 1 or 2 more people that I'm watching. So if you ever watch the Earls fam, she's like in her 37th week or something like that, I think 37th or 38th week. So they're on baby watch. If you watch Liza Adele, I think her name is, she's like the same amount of weeks as me, just about. So she's still waiting, and I think her latest video was about being induced possibly as well. So I do watch them. We're about the same amount of weeks, give or take a week or two. So they have not had their babies yet, so I'm kind of holding on to that, like, okay, I'm not the only one. And it is both their second children as well. And we're all having boys. It's crazy. So you guys have yourself a great day. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. You'll find that below down towards the name and title of the video. And yeah, keep your eyes out. I'm gonna be doing my daughter's, I'm gonna be wearing the same exact shirt. I'm gonna be doing my daughter's big sister gifts on the next video. All right, guys, and then also stay tuned for her birth story, as well as information about the induction and breastfeeding and versus formula as well. All right, guys, so you guys have yourself a great day. I'm gonna try to get this video down in like 20 minutes. I feel like I only do these like once a week normally, so they're usually really long. So if you hung in here this long, thank you. And you guys have yourself a great day. All right, bye.